Hello and welcome to the Worship Band Builder Podcast, where we are working with you to lay the foundation for skillful worship. I'm Eric Roberts. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Emily Roberts.
Hey, everybody.
And today, no amp, no problem, guitar tone for worship stage.
Electric guitar tone.
Electric guitar tone. And I am so excited about this. This is a kind of a short episode. I don't know what we're going to call these episodes. Well, we're going to call them Worship Band Builder Short Stuff, which is stolen from one of my favorite podcasts,
Stuff You Should Know.
Stuff You Should Know, Short Stuff. So these are going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit to the point, but this is something new that I'm doing. It's called the 72-Hour Guitar Confidence Series, and the links are in the description for everything we talk about in this podcast. But this is a new course that I have out, Fretboard Memory in 72 Hours. It is Tom Scarella, one of my buddies, partners, ministry guys up, I forget where he lives, Minnesota? He lives up where it's cold. Anyway, Tom Scarella, Share the Fire. He said, you should do this, and he's trying to learn the fretboard. So I said, I will do it, and I also have 4 or 5 other ones coming out in this new series called 72-Hour Guitar Confidence. The first one is out right now. Check it out at worshiptheking.com/ go to courses. Go to courses. You can see it right there. All right. Also, one other link that you want to know about, because it's really relative to this topic, is worshipbandbuilder.com/gear. Okay, /gear. Everything I'm talking about is on that page. It's also probably in this description, but it's also on that page. So, are you excited, Emily?
I am so excited.
She can't wait. She's just going to badger me the whole time about all these funny times.
What?
She's just making fun of me. Did you hear that in her voice, that funny? Like, she doesn't care about electric guitar tone. Do you?
I care about you.
Do girls really care about electric guitar tone? I mean, I don't know.
I care when I listen to it.
Yeah. Well,
Hear
okay.
it.
Let me tell you, Emily has firsthand experience with this episode, what it's about. You were mixing front of house at our church.
Yes.
Which is a miracle. She shows up. She just tears up that X32 console, mixing like a boss. And she was trying to turn down the electric guitar player. And she did turn him down, all the way down that morning. And what happened?
It didn't matter because his amp on the stage was too loud.
Yeah, so
I couldn't mix him in.
She couldn't mix him where she wanted because it was so loud on stage. So every church has this problem, and a lot of people are going to this no amp thing, which I am anti-no amp. Look, I'm from the 90s. I grew up in the 80s and 90s playing guitar, really 90s, and amps are cool. I want to feel the amp. I want to hear it. I don't care if the people in the audience are like, ah. Okay,
No, you care.
It's church, so we got to be a little more, what is it called, friendly. Back in the rock and roll days when I was playing with my Christian rock band, we would just crank up the amps and everybody would just jump around. But this is not youth group, okay? This is church, and people are getting kind of upset if your amp is too loud, okay? So first of all, if you really don't want to not have an amp, you can turn your amp around and point it at your face. What better angle than to point your own amp at your own face?
Well, that would really actually be kind of helpful because every player on the stage always wants to hear themselves louder than they can hear themselves.
Yeah.
So why not?
That's what I do. When I'm playing electric, I always turn my amp around, I put it towards the front of the stage or in front of me, and I point it right up to my face, and you can't turn it up that loud. It's better for everybody. But that's if you're going to have an amp. Don't point it at the people. If you put your amp on the stage and point it out, like at your back, you walk out there at head level and look up at the stage and listen to that amp, and it is cranking loud to the people standing out there. So there's all issues with amps. So now we got all these guys, they're taking their amps, they're putting them in the back room, right? Or they're putting them in these big boxes, or they're hiding them in other rooms in the church, just cranking them up. Because when an amp is cranked to its high volume, that's when it sounds good.
Oh.
You can't get all that crunchy tube amp sound out of an amp that's just turned like halfway up or like a third of the way up. So that's why they're putting their amps like in another room in the church, just cranking them up, putting a couple mics in front of them. All right.
Okay.
That's a decent idea. We tried that. Some of our amps are behind our stage, but our stage is in the room. There's no wall that we can put them behind yet. So they're still loud back there, even when they throw blankets over them and everything else. Look, if you put your amp in a box or throw blankets over it for too long, it's going to burn it up anyway. So what I'm talking about today is no amp, no problem. I'm going to talk about a solution that I just recently came on to because I was thinking, I really don't want to use this. This was an accident. Okay. I was trying to do something in here and I'm using my amp and it's just loud and I'm trying to record and do live streams. And I'm like, I don't want this amp in here. but I have a full out pedal board, a real pedal board. Okay. And I'm like, well, I need an amp because this, when you plug a pedal board direct into your system, to your mixer, it doesn't sound right.
Okay.
It's not right. Okay. It's not right. That's where this box comes. Okay. So if you're listening, this is called the Red Box. Hughes and Keltner Red Box. Okay. This thing right here is a concept, and I'll show you this is just the one I got. Okay. On eBay for half price, by the way. Okay. But what this does is it's an amp. What do they call it? I'm not even sure what they call this. An amp modulate, amp simulator, guitar cabinet simulator. Okay, so this actually acts like a guitar amp.
Really?
Yeah, so you take your pedal board and everything, and you plug it into this at the end of it, and then you plug this into your mixer, and it emulates a guitar amp. And I'm telling you, this thing is awesome. It sounds better than my actual guitar amp does.
And it's so easy to carry.
It's this big. It's just a little tiny thing.
If you're not looking, it's about the size of
a can of soda.
Yeah, box of matches, maybe.
Box of matches? What kind of matches do you use?
Wait.
Oh, like the big. Okay.
I'm not saying a book of matches. I said a box of matches.
A box of matches. Yeah, it's about the size of a box of big matches. Like grill matches, whatever you call it. I would say about a half of a can of soda. It is like half a can of soda.
Well, if you cut it long ways.
Yeah, I cut it long ways. It's about the half of a Mountain Dew can. And it's actually about the size of every other guitar pedal you have. You just stick it on your pedal board. You put it at the end of your chain. You plug it in. You do not have to have a guitar amp anymore. So if you're using in-ears at your church and doing all this stuff, think about this. This thing is amazing, and it's so clean. It's so clear. You can pick from lift, tight, vintage, large or small cabinet, and it's got a attenuator on it, so you can ground lift. Okay, so you can do a ground lift. It's really, I was kind of thinking this wasn't going to work because there's only about 4 knobs on here. They're not knobs, they're switches. And I thought, well, how good could that be? I mean, you want to dial? No. I'm saying this emulates a really good, maybe even a really good tube amp. Okay. And so at the end of your pedal board, you can plug it in. I'm going to use this on my channel in a couple of weeks when I start doing some electric guitar videos. The other thing is...
Well, hold on. Is this Red Box thing expensive?
This Red Box is about $125, $150. But like I said, I got mine on eBay for like $40, I think, or 50 or 80. I can't even remember. It was well under 100. Okay, so I didn't pay. It was brand new, and it was on there for like $60 or something, $80. So if you were to buy this brand new, you're probably looking at like 100-ish.
Just pick any number under 100, and
yes.
That's what he paid for.
Well, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up with me. So I know I got a like a half price deal. Okay, so I was excited about that. I didn't want to pay full price. I never do want to. And then this is the other one that I bought. An accident, okay, because I accidentally bought both of these. One I was just hoping I was going to win, and the other one I just bought on Amazon, and then I won the other one. I was like, oh, well, now I have 2. So this is not a great way to buy stuff, but I like this one. This was like $40, and they're always about $40. This is the Guitar GD1 Behringer. Okay, it's got a lot of knobs on it and a bunch of switches. It basically does the same thing, only it's really a lot cheaper. But I've already played with these. I think they're both good. I think the Red Box sounds way cleaner, way nicer. I would use it probably most likely. This one seems to introduce more switches and buttons, and it doesn't seem to have the clarity. But that's something that you would only know side by side.
Okay.
So if you want to buy something to start, buy this simple Behringer one. That's what I always would buy, the cheap one. And or the used one for a cheaper price. The cool thing about this Behringer one, I think it does more. It has Tweed, Brit, California. This one does, I think it kind of emulates distortion pedals. So you could probably get rid of a distortion pedal. It has a lot more settings on it, okay? But if you want to go easy out of your pedal board and into something that you can just turn on and just sound like you have an amp, I'm telling you, this Red Box is amazing. And you'll see on YouTube as I play it and other people, just YouTube it and listen to it. There are guys on there. This is what I was telling. I get excited. All right, I'm getting excited now. I tell Emily, I'm like, these people are buying like thousands of dollars worth of pedal boards and amps that cost $2,000, okay? And then they're plugging it in right next to this thing that's like $80, and I cannot tell a difference, okay? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I'm saying that because of YouTube now, you can listen to these people that are buying these, or getting them from the manufacturer, and they're A/B testing these. And it's very, very hard to tell the difference. So if you're having a hard time online telling the difference between this red box and a $3,000 amp, then guys, seriously, no more pedal snobs. No more pedal snobbery, okay? I've never been a pedal snob, but I've always been about tone. If you plug it in to the cheapest, junkiest thing and turn it on, and it sounds good, I'm like, give me that pedal. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care how much it cost. I just want that pedal. And that's how I kind of feel about this red box.
Okay, so we have the red box, and it is giving us awesome tone.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Do we need to plug a tuner into this? Do we need an outbox?
Yeah. So
where are we going with this?
Here's the thing. This episode is going to be short, and so keep subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're around because I'm going to talk more about there's different options. And let me I'll throw like 3 out because I have them written here. The 3 options that you could do if you're going to get rid of your amp is you could get rid of your amp and just get a red box and do a full out pedal board. So you got a pedal board, you want to get rid of your amp. Then you need like a amp cabinet simulator. Okay. Now that's a cheap model if you've already got some pedals. If you want to go real high end, you can go to these Helixes and these Line 6 pedals and these other Fractal. I'm not real up on all of them, but I know that they're expensive. Okay, so they can be anywhere from $1,500 up for one multi-effects pedal. Now, if you put that against somebody's pedal board that they spent $3,000 on, then you're like, well, it's cheaper because then you have everything is in there. They're basically all in one multi-effects. Amp simulators, pedal simulators, they're everything. So you could decide to go that way and you can get rid of your amp there. And that's where the industry's going. Now I see what's happening, and what I've been building on my channel is this little rig with the iPad with Bias FX. It basically simulates the amps, simulates all the pedals. It's under $100. It's like $49. It's on your iPad, and you get a little thing, you plug it in like an iRig. And now that's what I think is going to happen to the industry. I think the industry is going to move. I've seen these big pedal boards come in, these big multi-effects pedal boards, but the computer world is really taking over. So what I suspect is going to happen or project is that people are going to start running all their rigs off their iPads or off their computers, and they're going to have like just a little MIDI controller on the floor. Some of you are already doing that, but that is even cheaper and even more powerful than you can imagine because you have, like I said, I think I paid about $49 for this program on my iPad. It has hundreds of pedals, hundreds of amps, hundreds of microphones. You can literally just do it all. Okay, so I think that the industry is going to go away from the hardware. So we're not buying these big pedal. We used to buy these big pedal boards where they could only have so many sounds in them, and then they would be outdated within a couple years. You buy another one, like the Line 6 pedal and everything. All right, so if you're going to go with this, you got to decide what you want to do. What I would do is I would start out, if you're really new in this, I would start out with an inexpensive or a used multi-effects guitar processor, or get yourself $500 to $1,500 and go into, just pick the world you want to be in. You want to be in the world of pedals, like physical pedals, like a real board. Just go buy some cheap pedals, some Behringers, some different ones, stick them together and run them through a red box or an amp. That's one way. Next way, you got a little more money and you're a little more techie. You want to go to these like big multi-effects pedals like the Helix. Get one of those. I mean, do you see what I mean? There's so many options.
I see.
So what I would do if you were really, really, I'm going to give you real basic stuff here for the end of this episode. Get a tuner pedal, okay? Let's say you're going to build your little pedal board, okay? And I have video on that, and I built mine for well under $700. Sounds amazing. It doesn't have any pedal snobbery on it. It's just all basic pedals, under $700. Tuner pedal. You're going to need an overdrive, a distortion pedal. You're going to need a delay pedal, and a reverb pedal, and that's about it. And then an amp modeler. So, I mean, that's less than what I have. You could do that for a few $100s, okay? And then you can just have good tone. I think you just need to really decide if you're going to get rid of your amp and you're going to really go for this. Just decide to dedicate yourself to researching. Sit on YouTube at night when everybody else is asleep. Put your headphones in and watch every pedal video you can. And just write them down and get to know them and be like, I want that distortion sound. I want that overdrive sound. I want that reverb sound, and then get them for Christmas. She got me the MXR 300 for, I think, Christmas. It's one of my favorite reverb pedals. It's just little pedal here, little pedal there, and you can build your board. Or like you're going to go into the Helix world, sit there and watch every video and just learn to program your pedal, your big multi-effects pedal, and just go for it, because you got to really take time. But this episode was really about getting rid of your amp, and I think that really, in today's world, I don't see a single reason to put an amp anywhere, even in your church, on stage at all.
Wow. That's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to say that because I like amps, but I don't see how this little red box is any worse. I mean, amps are fun. That's the reason, guys. That's the reason, because they're fun and you like them. If that's why, put them on there. But if you're looking for a quick, easy, inexpensive solution to control the sound on your stage, to get really good tone still without an amp, so you don't have to carry something, lug something around, then Redbox is it. I used to carry an amp around in my band. It was 50, 75 pounds. I mean, it was huge. It was heavy. It was a disaster to carry that thing around.
It was a good workout, though, right?
Yeah, and it sounded good. But I think this even sounds better. So that's what we're doing today. Just let me know if you have any questions, and just work on your guitar tone. Check out the 72-hour confidence series. Check out the videos I have on my pedal board. I don't think that really guitar players should spend all of our time focused on this, but you do need to have a good pickups, good guitar, a good signal chain to where when you play, it sounds good. I've heard guitar players plug in these effects pedals and stuff that they don't know how to use them. They sound scratchy, they sound gross. You can really destroy your worship leading, your worship band. You can destroy it with a really junky tone. Like, I don't know what to call it, but it just, you know what I mean.
I do.
You come out with like some...
Although I don't know how to say, like how does someone know if they have good or bad tone?
Well, hopefully you have some friends around you who will tell you, dude, that tone is terrible. They'll tell you that tone is bad. If you have bad tone and you don't have enough friends to tell you that, then just listen to yourself. Listen to your live stream. And if it doesn't sound really good...
Oh, listening back. That would be a way.
Listen to your tone. Listen to your tone and listen to other people's good tone. That is something that you have to learn over time. But definitely pay attention to it. And make sure you share the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.